We now have Mr. Sandeep Kaul, Divisional Chief Executive of the Cigarettes Business, who will give us his presentation on the cigarettes business. Over to you, Mr. Kaul.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I have the privilege to present to you a few highlights of the cigarette business. Tobacco industry in India is a very interesting market and very different from most other countries in the world. It happens to be a large grower of tobacco, in fact, the third largest grower of tobacco in the world. But very different from some of the countries in the West, cigarettes are not the predominant form of tobacco consumption in India. In fact, they only account for 8% of the total tobacco consumption, and other forms of tobacco consumption exist in form of BDs in the smoking area, khaini, zarda, gutka in the chewing area. And interestingly, of course, while the consumption of cigarettes also happens to be one of the lowest in the world, and that's one of the reasons that the share of cigarettes in total tobacco consumption is only 8%. But despite being only 8% of total consumption, cigarettes account for 80% of government tax revenue. The consequence of this cigarette-centric tax and the sharp increase in tax incidence over the years, there have been some unintended fallouts, and one of them being the suboptimal tax collections when at the time of heavy rates of increase in taxes, and we'll come to it shortly. I'll show you some examples of that. And it has also led to a proliferation of an illicit and contraband cigarette market in the country. India now is considered the fourth largest illicit cigarette market in the world. We've already seen that cigarettes only account for 8% of the total tobacco consumption and balance 92% as the other forms of tobacco. So other forms of tobacco and illicit cigarettes actually is almost 10 times that of the legitimate cigarette industry in the country. If we look at the whole taxation policy and the cigarette-centric taxation, as we hope for a more moderate and equitable tax policy, and the benefits of that are visible in this small chart. If we compare two time periods, a period between 2012-13 and 16-17, when the tax rates moved up by almost 16% a year, the revenue out of the tax revenue only grew by 5%. While in the short period of tax stability that we enjoyed from, say, April 18 to Jan 20, when there was no tax increase, the revenue growth actually was as much as 10%. So this actually demonstrates that when there are periods of stability, there is potential for higher contribution to the exchequer by the legal cigarette industry, and the legal cigarette industry is able to claw back some volumes from the illicit trade. The menace of the contraband and the illegal cigarettes in the market there is a higher degree of awareness of that, and there has been a higher degree of enforcement, and there have been media articles rife on regular seizures that are being done by the enforcement authorities, and that's a very good positive development, and we hope that this development continues, because this is a real big menace not only for the industry but for the economy as a whole. Given the challenges that the cigarette industry faces, there are business imperatives, and first amongst that is to maximize the potential of the cigarette category within the overall tobacco basket. Secondly, it's about countering the illicit trade. And third, we would like to continue reinforcing our market standing as the leading cigarette company in India. We briefly mentioned this earlier. There are four key strategy levers that we deploy to achieve these objectives. The first being, of course, our future-ready portfolio. Now, this is comprised of some very powerful trust marks that have been created and nurtured over many years and constantly improved upon, a laddered portfolio, and our ability to provide variety and premium offers and distinctive offers to every possible market segment in the country. This is enabled by an agile innovation system based on category insights, creation of vectors of differentiation, and a strong degree of intellectual property and proprietorial knowledge that comes out of our being present across all nodes of the seed to smoke value chain. And this allows us, in addition to being able to give new products and new differentiated offers, also allows us to cut the lead time, be quick to the market, be more efficient, allow us to capture more value within the chain because we exist from end to end. Our whole value chain, which is present in India, is maximized to allow us to capture value and bring inward cost efficiencies. And the whole thing has been buttressed by the Industry 4.0 effort to contemporize, modernize, and bring in modern digital solutions to the market. In substance and summary, we have leading brands in every market segment. There is strong category insight generation engine that strengthens the portfolio continuously. In fact, 11% of our volumes come from new launches. We have direct reach to 1.4 lakh markets, best-in-class retail service. We're available in 7 million category outlets, almost twice that much of our nearest competitor. In the area of sustainability, 55% of our energy comes from renewable sources, 99.9% of solid waste is recycled, and we continue to be leaders in sustainability and testified by the awards that have been given to us by various bodies, 6 awards in the last year alone. This whole thing is supported by a very capable and advanced technology spine, a backbone that is continuously modernized with Industry 4.0, proprietary models, an integrated in-house capability for leaf development, capsules, specialty filter, and supported by JVs as necessary. We have a 50-50 JV to create competitive advantage in differentiated filters, for example. Some of these areas of strength and vitality really came to the fore as we dealt with the unfortunate pandemic with which we have been affected for the last 18-20 months. Very happy to say that after the gradual opening up of post-COVID-1, we could restore the total chain pipeline as the markets opened up within a very, very short period of 60 days. We reconfigured the supply chain to adapt to the new normal very quickly. To make sure that there was continuous accessibility of products, we increased the frequency of service where necessary to the retailers. The stockist network was expanded. The sales infrastructure was enhanced appropriately. The insight to execution engine delivered appropriate unit pack formats wherever necessary. New safety solutions were deployed at the top retailers so that people could shop in safer and hygienic circumstances. And our agile distribution coped up with the change in dynamics of the demand as the mobility patterns changed. In addition to that, we also continue to bring in new introductions, new variants, new formats to the market, and continued our journey. As we come out of the second wave of the pandemic, the trajectory definitely points to the fact that the second wave, the recovery has been faster than the first wave. We have led the industry in the recovery, and we have increased our market standing over this period by almost 100 basis points in line with our overall long-term trends. I'll delve a little bit on each of the 4 strategy pillars that we spoke about. The first being, of course, the future-ready portfolio. It's a portfolio that straddles all price points, multiple segments, multiple regions, multiple geographies, and is based on a very simple model that we would like to continuously create value, and this is done through our processes of market insights and innovation, and then able to convey that value through our product and packaging features, and then in turn, our laddered portfolio, our portfolio architecture, and the quality of our products, the product excellence and the last mile excellence allow us to capture that value. And the cycle goes on. So create value, convey value, and capture value. And a great example of that is I'll speak about some of our leading trademarks. Classic has been in the market for about 40 years, yet is vibrant and contemporary and leads our king size trademark portfolio and competes with the best in the world. The 4 new variants launched over the last 5 years alone contributes to 25% of the portfolio, and that is testimony to the vibrancy and the freshness of the brand portfolio that is run in Classic. It's known to be an innovation leader and has always been first to market in bringing capsules, filter technology, low circumference products, fresh seal packaging, and new pack styles. We have a brand of Gold Flake, symbol of 100 years of legacy and trust. Possibly the most valuable and largest FMCG brand in the country. Operates across multiple geographies, multiple price points with multiple variants. Despite 100 years of leadership, our new launches have contributed 10% to the portfolio. And this brand too, over the last 18-20 months, has rapidly moved into new segments of filters, pack styles, low circumference capsules. But our portfolio is not just about Classic and Gold Flake, which are our national brands, so as to speak. But a very, very close look at the market. We all know India is not one market. It comprises of many, many sub-markets, micro-markets. And we have been able to create, using a micro-market strategy approach, looking at price, laddering, looking at regional customization, been able to create a leading local brand in every geography. And we have Navy Cut, which has presence in Kerala, Northeast, East, Bristol in the West, Capstan in the North, Flake in the East, American Club around Telangana and Andhra, Silk Cut in Bengal, Scissors in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Players in Karnataka. So these are all leading brands in their own markets, crafted on the basis of very local insights and local opportunities. And these complement our efforts with the national brands. And how does the model work towards achieving these 3 objectives of maximizing potential within the tobacco industry, combating illegal and illicit trade, and enhancing standard amongst the legal players? The core of it is our internal seed-to-smoke capabilities. The context is provided by our programs in category insights, trade insights, innovation. And the windows to the market are provided by market opportunities, innovation-based distinctive products wherever we can provide a clear distinctive product, a differentiated product. It's also about reinforcing the core of our portfolio and premiumizing wherever the opportunity exists. So this is the process that we continue to deploy, and the portfolio continues to evolve. As I mentioned earlier, 11% of our volumes comes from new products based on market opportunity-based first-to-market products, and our assortment has more than doubled in the last 8 years so that we are able to provide an offer in every viable segment. This is enabled by an agile innovation engine, looking at multiple vectors of differentiation. And for example, there are filters, where we use specialized filters, in-house efficiency in various ways of technology of filters, formats, 5-pack, fresh seal pack, new variants addressing new market segments, all backed by internal capacity of an end-to-end integrated value chain, which gives us Great speed to market bases the superior talent that we have and the indigenous machinery development platforms that we have created. And cutting-edge R&D system based on AP scientists, state-of-the-art labs, 20 patents, 60 more are in progress, and the whole seed-to-smoke value chain expertise. Nurtured carefully over years with the capacity to innovate and the talent to innovate. Some of these competencies are a matter of domain expertise, and we have internal domain experts in the area. Some of the skills are not easily available in the market, and we have an internal technical university to drive industry-specific skill enhancement. And we have innovation design teams. For example, the innovation design teams have delivered us quick changeover kits, provided us frugal automation, solutions through vision analytics for online product monitoring system, and unique pack styles. So this is something that is only within our system. A good proof of concept of this was the whole evolution of the in-house capsule capability over the last 4 or 5 years, from insight to product development to the in-house manufacturing capability, and finally through the manufacturing capability, of course, gives many advantages. One is, of course, significant cost saving. The second is, compared to anybody else, we can get much quicker to the market when we see an opportunity. And this is reflected in a diverse range catering to various market segments. So this is a story which encapsulates how we make our seed-to-smoke system works, internal capacity to innovate, and our proprietary engines bring to bear on market problems. Our integrated seed-to-smoke value chain is unparalleled. And I have a short video to take you through some facets of the same. Picking up the thread from the video, this small chart demonstrates what we mean by the seed-to-smoke value chain. From our leaf tobacco growing division, which works very closely with the farmers in the field, the product development team, the extended version of which includes some joint ventures in the area of filter development. The packaging and printing business that allows us to use newer forms of packaging in board and create innovation in the area of packaging. And of course, the manufacturing, the indigenous capability in manufacturing, and the last mile execution in trade marketing and distribution. And this is the model that has helped us sustain our leadership and grow our business continuously. The new product capability and skill enhancement models work on speedy product development and prototyping capacity, in-house capability for emerging products, skill enhancement through digital technologies, as we saw, and the in-house technical university with a library of immersive technologies in the area of augmented reality, virtual reality, and so on. And this allows us to create the capacity to create and renovate. Our manufacturing network is spread across the country. It has integrated capability to manufacture ovarians, capsule filters, so that we can be faster to the market at competitive costs. Our distribution facilities are distributed across the country for optimal logistics. And we have contingency capacities at our manufacturing locations to de-risk against localized discontinuity. The manufacturing infrastructure, so we have in the area of cigarette and tobacco processing, the cigarette packaging, capsules, encapsulators, dryers, makers, all state-of-the-art. This is supplemented by a very unique make in India effort, supported by an in-house machine development and machine design team, which allows us to develop all those indigenous platforms with which we are able to save cost, bring about differentiation, and get to market quicker. And we have in the past developed sub-assemblies for double capsule filter manufacturing, developed wrapping and end-of-line equipment across the lines. These are all indigenous development. Industry 4.0 has been continuously leveraged to keep our systems, processes, capabilities up to date, modernized, digitally right up there. Shop floor digitization through machine-level data integration has allowed us to improve our operational excellence. We have enhanced our product consistency through application of AI and data science models to control the processing parameters. We have looked at IoT and machine learning to bring about online waste reduction in our machines, deployed image analytics-based systems for 100% online quality assurance, and this is when the speed at which our lines work is phenomenal. Develop predictive analytics for optimization of equipment and utility performance. In the area of material movement, we have used autonomous guided vehicles, deployed robots, cobots in the area of material feeding, enhanced quality through mass flow conveyors, and of course deployed processes like RPA for repetitive manual administrative assemblies. Immersive technologies are continuously used for the benefit of productivity enhancement and were really well deployed during the period of the pandemic also, because we could continue to maintain our machines and do their improvements sitting from remote locations at the technical universities and other places. So we can use mixed reality for online maintenance and virtual reality for assembling. All our initiatives have been very widely recognized, and we continue to be proud of the fact that each of our factories have been recognized by the industry for the work we have done in sustainability. And all this is backed by excellence in execution. Our product quality is right up there, well ahead of our nearest competitor. PQRS is one of our proprietary models that we use to measure our quality versus that of competition. The gap only keeps increasing and delivers that excellence in product with which we win in the market. And all this is supported by our excellence in the last mile. As industry leaders, our product is available in all the category outlets, about 7 million of them across the country, which are serviced through 10,000 plus redistribution channel partners. We have 7,000 mobile units servicing the interiors of Bharat. We have best-in-class daily servicing, and this is very interesting because many of the small retailers that sell our category, sell our products, are very small, marginal, with very low capital. And our daily servicing model allows them to run a legal business with legal cigarettes on a very small capital base and allows us to be best in class in daily servicing. And we reach about 1.4 lakh markets through our extensive direct network. All this is enabled by using appropriate technology at all nodes to drive efficiency and agility at the scale at which we are talking about of 1.4 lakh markets and the number of outlets that we spoke about. In summary, we are well poised to reinforce our market standing and grow the share of tobacco by leveraging our institutional strengths. We continue to strengthen our portfolio basis, our insights, micro-marketing strategies, differentiation, internal capabilities. Digital interventions in Industry 4.0 is used to continuously sharpen our manufacturing capability and prowess and remain world best. And we maintain our competitive advantage through benchmark product quality and superior last mile execution, which we have always been known for on a continuous basis. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's all that I had for now. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaul. The next presentation is by Mr. Hemant Malik, Divisional Chief Executive for Branded Packaged Foods Business. I just want to take this opportunity to tell all participants that they can use the chat box to raise questions, which will be taken up at the end when we have the Q&A session. So please use the chat box. If Mr. Malik is ready, we could switch over to his presentation.
Thank you, Karthik. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm assuming I'm audible and therefore I'll start my presentation. It indeed is a pleasure for me to be here, and my story today is of a young business with a startup mindset that has braved against long-standing brands and created a sustainable business with solid fundamentals. To start with, I would like to share the purpose. Our purpose is to help India eat better, and we demonstrate this through our obsession to offer great quality products and exciting innovations that are science-based as well as consumer-led. The products are prepared using carefully chosen ingredients, made in the right way, to taste better and to do better. Today's presentation I'm going to cover in two parts. The first part is about the business highlights, and I would also like to call out some distinct strengths that we as an organization have to compete in the market. The second part is I will cover our strategy to win, where you will see our consumer-centric innovation, how we strengthen the core, and about our strategy towards premiumization. Needless to say, you will find that our purpose of help India eat better and our obsession to offer great quality and innovation will come right through my presentation. ITC Foods is one of India's leading food businesses. It is also one of the largest and fastest growing. 4 of our brands are among the top 20 trusted food brands in India. ITC Foods brands are present in more than 50% of stores across the country. We are present in 20 food categories, and in the last 10 years, we have grown with a CAGR of 16%, is a 4.2x growth. And we are very delighted that 1 in 2 Indian households use our products. The ITC Foods brands are present across 17.4 crore households. Some of our brands, as I mentioned, 4 power brands of Aashirvaad, Yippee, Sunfeast, and Bingo. At the same time, we have a set of young brands which will soon reach the state of 1,000-odd crores in a couple of years. Dark Fantasy, Candyman, Be Natural, ITC MasterChef. We also have a couple of nascent brands like Sunbeam and Febel, which operate in coffee and chocolates. And we have our latest brand in our stable, which is Sunrise, which is part of our acquisition that happened just about a year back. When I look at a brief about the 4 power brands, and if you look at Aashirvaad Atta, it is the number 1 branded atta. And the story here is not just about the fact that it has grown at about 18% CAGR in the last 10 years. It is India's number 1 branded atta. It became India's number 1 branded atta within just 4 years of its launch. It is market leader for 15 consecutive years and has more than 6,000 crore in terms of consumer spends. The other part of the story for Aashirvaad is the fact that Aashirvaad Atta has actually led the category conversion. About 2 decades back, it was just about 1% of the market of atta, wheat combined, which was in terms of packaged atta. Today, it is about 14 to 15%. And 50% of this has been contributed by Aashirvaad Atta. And we believe that also it shows the huge potential that is there in this space as we will find more and more working couple, as we find more shift towards packaged commodities that is taking place. And some examples that we have in front of us, if you look at tea or if you look at branded oil, these are all already about 70 to 80% branded, while atta is right now is just about 15%. The second brand in terms of Sunfeast, and we are very proud that Sunfeast cream biscuits is the number 1 cream biscuit in the category. The whole story for Sunfeast has been around innovation, and that innovation in terms of product as well as communication. And this is in the cream segment, in the value cream segment, we have Bounce, which is India's number 1 cream biscuit brand. And in the premium end, we have Dark Fantasy, which is the market leader in the premium indulgence segment. Mom's Magic, it was our entry into the cookie space, and in just about 18 months of launch, it reached 500 crores and probably the fastest for any brand in the FMCG space to reach 500 crores. Making Sunfeast India's number 3 bakery brand. We are 1/3 of the market leaders in 1/6 of the time, with about a 4,000 crore consumer spend. Today, in my presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Aashirvaad and Sunfeast. As far as the other two brands, which are Bingo and GP, we will keep that for some other date when we'll take you a little in more details about that. Bingo, our snack brand, which is known for its unique product and for its cut-through communication, has been seeing a 25% CAGR over the last 10 years. We are the number one in the bridge segment, as well as we are the market leader in South India as far as potato chips is concerned. And if I were to look at the potato chips and the finger snack segment over the last 5 years, we have been growing at the rate of 3.6x of the lead competition. And Bingo is about 2,500 crore in terms of consumer spend. GP was our entry into the noodles category. GP came in with a completely differentiated offer of being a round noodle, which was long and non-sticky. And it was the same time when a large number of other brands had also participated in the noodle segment. But we are very happy that we are the second largest instant noodles brand. In just about 8 years of our operations, we crossed the 1,000 crore milestone. And our 10-year CAGR of 42% is 5.3x of the lead competition. Interestingly, we have also achieved market leadership in Andhra Pradesh, in Odisha, and in Kerala. We have also expanded our footprint globally. Our brands are getting exported now to 58 countries. And if you look at in the last 3 years itself, we have doubled our export turnover. We sell Ashirwad Atta, we sell biscuits, we sell noodles. We have taken our entire portfolio and we are opening more and more markets. But we are happy to see that our distribution networks have got set. And we've also started communicating in some of our lead markets. Our chairman was talking about the opportunity in the PLI from exports perspective. And yes, we are participating in the export incentive from PLI perspective, and probably we are one of the highest in terms of committed spend. And we think this growth trajectory that we have seen is likely to continue in the future. So how have we achieved this? We have achieved this through leveraging our distinct strengths. So what are these? First of all is our obsession of offering great quality products and exciting innovations. We have a deep understanding of our consumer, both regional tastes and preferences. We work very closely between our product development and research and development. A very strong support by our agri-business to source the right material, whether it is wheat, whether it is fruit pulp, or whether it is spices. And we have also focused in terms of looking at regional specific blends for our products. And this is example both through whether I look at in terms of a spice portfolio, where there are different blends developed for different regions. For our atta portfolio, where we have 4 different blends to start with in the north, east, west, and south. And as we are becoming larger, we are actually, and the fact that we have about 29 to 30 manufacturing locations allows us the opportunity to actually customize even at state level. And today we have customized, for instance, from Rajasthan, the blend is slightly different than Delhi, because that is what the consumer expects, and that is what our consumer research shows. What we are also very happy to see is our superior consumer ratings. Our consumer product ratings are ahead of competition across multiple categories, and I've just put up 4 of the brands. These are ratings which are coming on Amazon, and you can see noodles is 4.5 compared to competition at 3.8, and the same story continues for our other brands as well. The third element of our cross-category competencies of our strength is in terms of cross-category competencies. And you can see that sourcing, when you look at wheat and when you look at the wheat value chain, we operate in 3 distinct categories: between atta with Ashirwad, between noodles for Yippee, and for biscuits at Sunfeast. And this competency supports not only in terms of sourcing, but it also makes a difference in terms of how you look at the product development. And one of the reasons where we can be very clear, non-sticky noodle that we have launched and has been a very key success part of it has been our understanding of the wheat product. The same knowledge is being used in terms of looking at how yield improvement can take place as far as biscuits is concerned. And the same knowledge has been used to develop vermicelli, which has been launched with the proposition of non-sticky vermicelli. Our cross-format chocolate expertise is coming in handy for us. We are leveraging our chocolate knowledge. We have leveraged it for Febel as the ultra-luxury segment. The Choco-Fill product of Dark Fantasy, the chocolate is coming in, being developed by the team, which is a Febel chocolate team. And the same has got expanded into our the Candyman fantastic range of mass chocolates. We have also seen the advantage of fungible manufacturing technologies. The pasta line that we have is now being used for vermicelli. Our Mad Angles line was used to develop no rules, so that allows us to look at capital allocation across categories where you can, when you have excess capacity, you are able to leverage other categories which are very, very similar once you start getting into it. The fourth area which helps us a lot is in terms of target group understanding. Because I operate across so many categories, but if I were to look at the housewife as a consumer, right, I understand about the housewife through studying about atta. We look at the consumer when we are studying about biscuits. We understand the consumer when we are studying about juices. And all these different windows to understand the consumer actually gives us a significant superiority in understanding about our TG, and therefore helps in terms of product development as well as communication development. And of course, needless to say, the institutional strength of ITC has been a key framework for actually developing our business, which covers our multi-channel distribution network, our agri-sourcing expertise, the packaging know-how, the cuisine expertise from our hotels, and of course the R&D from our LSTC to actually make sure that our innovations are both science-based and consumer-led. This has resulted in wide recognition. Very recently, we were also awarded the Mobile Marketeer of the Year, and that showcases our efforts in terms of digital marketing. Similarly, in our manufacturing, all our ICMLs have been winning awards on whether it is on energy efficiency or in terms of safety, and so has our procurement team been awarded the Team of the Year for ITC Foods. This also shows the huge potential that is there in the branded packaged food in India. There is the few consumer trends that we can see very clearly, which is going to drive this shift from unbranded to branded package. At an overall food category, the category that we operate in, about 85% is unbranded and only 15% is packaged. The consumer is seeking safe and hygienic food products. They're looking for trusted offer. They're looking for products which are good quality and free from adulteration. And we saw a significant uptake happening during COVID. And the brands which are more trustworthy got affirmed in consumer minds. The rising disposable income, the growth of e-com and D2C, all this supported with conducive macro factors, including the attractive PLI in food sector. And I'm happy to share that ITC has been included in PLI scheme across 3 categories, both ready to eat and ready to cook, as well as in fruits and vegetables, and marine. So with very low per capita expenditure versus other countries, we believe India packaged food story is a story of the future. What are our strategies to win? The first important aspect is our consumer-centric innovation. And when we look at innovations, we are looking at consumer insights. We are looking at products which have been developing, leveraging consumer trends. We talk about the new brand experiences which are going to help to build a deeper engagement, new consumer touch points for convenience and accessibility, as well as new way of looking at media which can help in terms of breaking the clutter. Our consumer insight process is holistic, is real time, and it triangulates various data sources. In the past, the two main source of information used to be market research and to some extent in the form of media impressions. But today, we have data which comes in from our customer care interactions, data which comes in from e-commerce where consumers are commenting on our products, data that the consumer information and data that we are picking up from our websites and our apps, as well as consumer activations. So the sources have moved beyond traditional to a large number of unconventional data sources, which are all captured in the consumer data hub. And we follow a process of social listening, image analytics, AI, NLP, and the output is in form of insights plus content because we are tracking our consumer 24/7. We are constantly looking at what are these micro trends, what can be the great consumer golden records, and planning and executing personalized content. Our platform is the sixth sense, and I'll give you a quick example in terms of how during COVID, and we picked up a couple of trends in terms of health and immunity, in terms of seeking conveniences and accessibility, as well as experimentation at home. And we were the first company to actually launch a product which was an immunity boosting products. There were many which came in, but between what we picked up, and I think we were in the market in about 40 days of COVID, and the same was also looked at highlighting in the form of communication on both ghee and biscuits. We picked up the trend in terms of need for safety, and our Ashirvad Swasti Select Milk was launched with a report card where the consumer could actually put a message on WhatsApp and get to know what the daily report card of the quality of the product that he or she is buying. It was showing the 27 plus quality checks that we make. We also found a huge increase in cooking habits, in people wanting to cook at home, and therefore the entire pace and gravies got launched under the ITC MasterChef brand name. We also leveraged our frozen food range because the convenience was need of the hour and made the same accessible. We have always been looking at delighting our consumers through first-to-market products. Over the years, some of our unique offers in the market include the first filled cookies, the Dark Fantasy Chocofill. The Mad Angles was a unique market product which was a triangle format. And the original style flat cut chips of Bingo was also the first to market where we were converting bakery format chips to a packaged form. We were the first to launch 100% pomegranate juice, the round noodles I've already talked about, as well as tricolor pasta. This journey of looking at first to market products continues, and some of our recent breakthroughs that I'm happy to share is our Feta coffee. And one had seen the trend that has come in as far as Dalgona is concerned, and we are the first in the market to give you Feta coffee, very attractive and consumed in the north and the west of the markets. We invested in technology to market aseptic PET format, which allows you to also add fruit bits into the juices and gives you a multi-textural experience. We've launched milkshake with fruit bits. We are the ones who came in with ruby chocolate, the first in the country, as well as multi-millet mix and different packaging format for ghee. We've also been looking at catering to the long-term consumer trends of health. Ashirvad's Nature Superfood with its organic range of products deliver on consumers' need of no preservatives and no additives solution. Our Ashirvad Nature Superfood is to address the need of rising gluten intolerance as well as multi-millet mix for people who look at going back to the roots. Ashirvad Salt has launched a proactive salt which is 15% less in sodium and it is better for heart. GP Noodles uses goodness of whole wheat atta and veg infused noodles. So we have called out the key value propositions in each of these products because we are very clearly seeing the consumer trends towards health and towards nutrition. At the same time, the indulgence aspect will continue. and we have a range of premium chocolate biscuit experience under the brand of Sunfeast. Very recently, we've launched Choco Nut Dipped and Choco Chunks under our dessert range. Febel, of course, the signature luxury dessert collection, which is used a lot in festivals and gifting. And we have also looked at affordable indulgence, which makes indulgence for all, both through our Bounce range of biscuits, as well as our launch of Candyman Fantastic Daily Chocolate indulgence format. Our brands are about purpose-led brand experience for consumers. We have looked at future brand ambassadors in the form of working with young children and school kids to talk about plastic and how they can make magic out of plastic. We have worked with interactive cooking workshops along with our ITC hotel chefs, and Sunfeast India Run as One mobilized the country in support of all livelihoods. We've also focused in terms of offering convenience and accessibility via multiple touch points. I'll take a minute on this. We have partnered with airlines. Our range of beverages are available on Indigo and SpiceJet. We have partnered with Inox, and when Inox was looking at crafting a meal box, the Kitchens of India products have come in to partner with Inox. And I would like to make a point that all these products are actually uniquely crafted. And our ability to actually develop products and work with partners and create propositions which are relevant for their set of customers make a difference to ITC. We are available. We've tied up with Amway, and we have a range of mixed fruit juice. We have launched ABC, which is apple, beetroot, and carrot, which is powered with Neutralite. We have worked with Domino's to, when Domino's was looking at shifting from CSD to something which is healthier, and that's how Bean Natural is now available on Domino's. ITC Store, of course, is our attempt at B2C, now across 11 cities where you can, order our 700 to 800 SKUs. And it is, I think it will get covered later in the digital section. We've also created home carts for frozen. We recently tied up with Have More, so we have about 100 odd carts in Delhi, which make the frozen item available near you. The frozen item, I believe, is in the stage where you have to create the category, and therefore creating more access and more touch points is what is going to drive the category growth. We've used innovative media approach to break the clutter in terms of co-creating relevant content for Candyman Jellymals, and which is now one of the top adventure shows on the kids space. We have looked at dynamic integration of offline plus online with Dark Fantasy Out of Home, and we have started to participate in the esports space with Yippee, because we believe there is a big growth opportunity in the esport arena, and it is important for brands to be there right in the beginning. We've used cutting-edge digital tools and techniques in terms of our sixth sense. We do a fair amount of in-house content creation. We have a team which develops the creative and makes sure that moment marketing comes the moment there is an opportunity to actually leverage your brand. We've also worked on hyper-personalized content creation and deployment. This comes in because of our customer data hub, which has a very large base of customer audiences, which we are able to segment, and therefore this is an example of Ashirwad, where we actually were able to create about 100 different creatives and target to our customer based upon need state, based upon their psychographic profiles. We've been working on AI-based diagnostic tool for creative evaluation. So it has done a historical audit of all the creatives that we have ever used and has been able to give us an idea in terms of what is the creative which is likely to work better. And all our ads go through this AI-based diagnostic tool before they get into the market. We've been tapping into communities where digital media cannot reach, and this community management platform uses again the power of data analytics and machine learning. Coming to the next section, which is about strengthening the core. The area that we talk about is launching range of value-added products. So when I'm looking at strengthening the core, how can I strengthen my core? I can look at expanding the range. I can look at expanding and launching value-added products depending upon the consumer needs. I can look at leveraging the power brands to adjacent categories. And the chairman had shared some examples of how our power brands have been leveraged across adjacent categories, and I'll talk a little bit about them. We look at addressing emerging consumption moments and extending into newer and alternate channels. So I'll come to Ashirwad. I did touch briefly about Ashirwad in the beginning. Ashirwad has been driving branded conversion while maintaining price leadership. And I'm giving you an example of two of our large regions, which is North and the other is South. And as you can see that the objective for the brands are very different in both the regions. In the North, it is about shifting in behavioral choice. Choice means where we're looking at converting consumers who are buying wheat and loose atta towards packaged form. And this is an example of a 4-step process, which also motivates you to be 4 steps forward, and it is actually giving the assurance to consumers in terms of how the packaged atta, in terms of quality, in terms of process, is as good, if not better, than whatever you might be consuming today. And we are saying that there's a huge opportunity for this conversion, and all our brand efforts in the North is focused in terms of shift in behavioral choice. In the South, the challenge is a little different. The penetration levels are quite high. But what you need to do is look at increasing the occasions of usage. Today, it is just about 2 meal occasions out of 14 that atta may be used. But having said that, a few years back, that was 1.4. That has moved to 2. And the power of Ashirwad in terms of the mental availability of Ashirwad is huge. We have top of mind awareness of more than 90%. So anytime if somebody thinks of atta, he or she thinks of Ashirwad. And this is what we are leveraging in terms of communicating the versatility of atta by educating consumers with atta recipes. So we have put in thousands of recipes on various ways of what all you can make with atta. It's not just about the chapati or the paratha, but going beyond into even making cakes and bread. In terms of moving to more value-added products, our big story has been about atta with multigrains. And the consumer insight has been about leveraging the the story of high fiber atta for better digestion. This is something that came in from our consumer work, and why people consume multigrain atta, what is the role that the extra fiber does. And in fact, I'm going to share a small communication with you, which has done exceedingly well for multigrain atta. Volume.
हुआ क्या? नहीं हुआ क्या? यही पूछना पड़ेगा अगर खाने में फाइबर कम होगा. आशीर्वाद आटा विद मल्टीग्रेन्स फुल ऑफ फाइबर, ये फैमिली के डाइजेशन का रखे ख्याल. हो गया. आशीर्वाद आटा विद मल्टीग्रेन्स, हैप्पी टमी फॉर अ हैप्पी यू फ्रॉम ITC.
This idea about happy tummy for happy you is being taken forward, and we have developed a unique digestive quotient from Ashirwad, which actually is an exclusive platform for digestive health, which is very clearly, when we did our consumer work, this was one of the most significant needs from consumer perspective. And this platform will be a one-stop solution for blogs on expert videos and nutritionist consultants, as well as for high fiber recipes. We have looked at augmenting with sugar release control atta. This is a specific solution for people in need of sugar control. We have used this to develop a browser-based video calling to facilitate easy consultation. We have a panel of dietitians working remotely across the country. You can drive a call to action. After that, it looks at in terms of you have an also option to buy, and you can come to our ITC store.in to purchase, or you can be directed to any of the e-commerce site to make a purchase. Moving beyond atta, we have looked at the adjacencies. We have looked at bringing relevant cooking solutions for the homemaker. So Ashirvad, of course, is in atta with select and multigrain and SRC. We have expanded our space in terms of looking at the health and wellness solutions with gluten-free atta, with multi-millet mix. We also have entered the organic portfolio. And of course, in terms of convenience, and we found there's a need coming in of convenience, of ready to kind of cook chapatis, and that is right now under pilot in Kerala. The brand Ashirvad operates in salt as well as in spices. We are the market leader in Andhra Pradesh. And recently, we have also made a reasonable entry in the breakfast solution space. Because Ashirvad was mostly in the main meal, but with entry into vermicelli, it offers the opportunity for the brand Ashirvad to be used on snacking occasions. And there are a few other platforms that the team is currently engaged with in terms of developing the propositions across other breakfast Indian breakfast solution opportunities. We've also expanded into some other adjacencies in the form of fresh dairy. This is focused only in two markets, in Bihar as well as in some parts of Bengal. The portfolio includes milk, dahi, lassi, paneer, as well as mishti dahi. And Ashirvad ghee is now available across all the e-com platform as well as focused in southern markets and Delhi. And it is known for its unique slow cook proposition that leads to great aroma. This is cow ghee, highly recommended. Moving to Sunfeast, I did mention about Sunfeast that the role of Sunfeast has been to create excitement in this category. We entered much later. There have been large players, and therefore it was important to say what is it that you are going to make a difference. And I think for us, the portfolio of innovative offers, and I think we are very proud to see the number of new offers that we have put in. Dark Fantasy, I briefly talked about. The range that Dark Fantasy has expanded into. The same technology of fills is getting used in terms of with Bounce, with the brand Bounce, as well as in terms of having a full dark chocolate fill products. There are many more opportunities that are there which the product team continuously is working on. And apart from the fill technology solution that we have developed, we've also launched many other firsts. In the cake space, we entered about a year and a half back. We have our unique Trinity solution, which is a 3-layered cake. We are the first in the market. We've launched, when we looked at digestives, we've launched with 5 seed digestive. We've taken inspiration and were the first in the market to launch all-rounder, as well as in terms of Veda Mari Light. I think the important point
Is that you again? Baby, 50 messages.
Sorry. I'm going to play this ad which is on Dark Fantasy Chocofill, and the thought behind this ad has been how do you create more occasions and a specific occasion where Dark Fantasy can be consumed.
Is that you again? Baby, 50 messages. Not one reply. On my mind. Deadline. In 2 days. Why do I want you? Baby. Deadline. Crunchy cookie and molten choco will melt your day away. Have a bit of fantasy today. Sunfeast Dark Fantasy. Din khatam. Fantasy shuru.
So this innovation and the at the premium end, and if you were to look at the biscuit market, and if I were to divide it into 3 segments of basic, value, and premium, and at the premium end, we are seeing consumers seeking better sensorial experiences, and that has been a focus area for us. And today we are the market leader in the premium end of the market. We have 26% share of the premium biscuit segment, which is 1.5x the largest competitor in the biscuit space. It includes brands like Dark Fantasy, Farmlight, and All Rounder. We've also been focused on strengthening the core with thought-leading ideas. Mom's Magic is our entry into the cookie space, and we've actually used both the proposition of consumer heart, as well as the ability to make and put. This is the first biscuit where you can actually it's got a visual on top of the biscuit, and it required a lot of technical intervention to make it to happen. But I think what it has done for the brand is make sure that there is a heart in every biscuit. I'm going to play the ad for Mom's Magic communication, which was recently went on the air.
Yeah, sure, sir. 3-4 घंटों में हो जाएगा सर. Yeah, no problem. I also problem है. आज संडे है और ना तुमने कुछ खाया है और ना अंजलि ने. लगता है आज तुम भी अपनी माँ से डांट ही खाओगी.
मैम वो
चलो जल्दी से 1 कप चाय और 2 कुकीज खा लो. अरे बेटा खाओगे नहीं तो काम कैसे करोगे?
5 हो या 55, माँ के दिल से कौन जीता है? ऐसे ही दिल से बना है नया सनफीस्ट मॉम्स मैजिक. इस दिल के आगे सबकी हार है.
So our ambition is to be the most preferred bakery brand in India. We want to make consumers reevaluate their existing choice of biscuits and upgrade from the leaders. We want to build love marks in each of our brands with a solid idea behind each one of them and a strong point of view. And you can see that I've listed our key brands. If I look at Mom's Magic, it's about helping mother work the magic that makes everything feel right. And the point of view is it's the warmest superpower. Sunfeast Bounce is about bounce out the fun inside everyone. And the Farm Light proposition is about, it's not just about digestive, it's about digestive. So you're adding zest to health. I'm going to cover a short story on Be Natural. Be Natural is one of our recent acquisition. It's been just about since 2014-15 that Be Natural, which operates in the beverage space. And we were a brand coming in after almost 2 decades of the market leader being there. And therefore, it was important to create a proposition which was distinct. And Be Natural is the first juice brand which is made of 0% concentrate and made of 100% Indian fruits. The ethos of being an Indian brand and to develop the Indian farmers, and therefore the focus was in terms of developing product which uses Indian fruit pulp and not imported concentrate. Today, we are India's clear number 3 brand. Our proposition of fruit and fiber is extremely powerful and well received. We are the second largest, we have the player in modern trade with almost a 24% market share. We have looked at premiumizing the juice portfolio, the premium juice portfolio with Ratnagiri Alfonso and Dakshin Guava, and it's all focused in terms of source of origin story. And I did talk about how we were the first to come with immunity range product at the time of COVID. We've also focused in terms of tapping unconventional route to market. If you look at modern trade, and we are the number 1, we are the market leader as far as the Reliance retail is concerned, which is the largest retailer. We are also probably top 1 or very close to second as far as Amazon is concerned. And we focused on developing institutional partnership, and this comes in because of our unique PET technology. I mentioned we are available in Indigo. I did speak about our tie-up with Domino's and Amway, and very recently we've also available in McDonald's, and the Happy Meals for kids has Be Natural specially crafted juice available on McDonald's as well. The last section is about driving profitability through smart manufacturing, through cost management, through mixed premiumization, and of course value accretive acquisition. We saw briefly in terms of how the state-of-art manufacturing infrastructure has come about. We have integrated ICMLs across 9 food categories. 75% female workforce in our Pudukkottai and Mysore factory. And I'm going to share a brief video about it's a 1-minute video on our ICMLs. So how does this smart manufacturing help us? We have a distributed manufacturing network of ICMLs, which drives freshness, reducing distance to market. It makes a difference in supply chain optimization because it minimizes material handling and optimizing market servicing. We also have co-located warehouses which combine loads which can go straight from the warehouse to the distributor, because we are combining load across multiple product categories. Makes a difference in terms of our overall supply chain costs. We've worked on people capability, multi-skilling. Today our multi-skilling is not only between the primary processing and packaging. Multi-skilling happens across lines. So the person could be working on a juices line today, and tomorrow, when it is winter and there is, the requirement of juice may be down, the same person can go and work into the snacks line, which at that point of time has a much higher demand coming its way. So it makes a difference in our people. So we need to invest a lot on capability development and make sure that our productivity goes up. The shared infrastructure across common utilities and amenities make a difference in terms of scale benefit and reduces our fixed overheads. As you can see, our manpower productivity has gone up by 1.4x in the last 2 years. Our energy efficiency is up by 1.2x. Some of the other levers that we are working on is in terms of Industry 4.0 for manufacturing excellence. A large number of renewable energy projects are up and running. We working in terms of process automation as well as in terms of packaging know-how. We work in terms of, we have a very diverse portfolio of products, and therefore procurement landscape and the digital initiatives in procurement make a huge difference. We have one of our, I think, first of its kind digitally enabled procurement system, which will be talked about in the next section. And we work on track and trace and robotic process automation using bots. In terms of profitability, I think premiumization is a very important vector. We have been successfully premiumizing the portfolio across our categories. For the staple business, it is about the premium select atta as well as the multigrain atta. In dark fantasy biscuits, we have talked about that. At the same time, we have looked at the premium end of juices, and over the years we measure in terms of what kind of share have we been getting about the premium end. But I think the difference is also the consumer insights, which goes in terms of developing the solutions which make the consumer willing to pay a premium for these offers. We also developed SKUs which are more MT and e-com focused. In terms of the pack sizes, SKUs, specifically crafted SKUs, and soon we are also looking at specifically crafted products for some of these channels. Driving profitability through brand extension as we are into 20 categories, and we always continually look at in terms of which are the brands that we can actually leverage. I'll give you an example of milkshake. Right, so we have the Sunfeast brand, and we've got brands under Sunfeast milkshake. When I'm looking at in terms of developing a chocolate shake, I think the dark fantasy brands has a very great synergy with the milkshake product as well, and it is unique to us because we are across certain categories, and therefore these brands are easily extendable. My Candyman has gone into Candyman Fantastic. The ITC Master Chef, which started with frozen food, is available across spreads and dips, across cooking paste and gravies. And of course, extending the brand within a category with different types of product, as an example of Ashirwad. This is another source of making sure that the brand investment costs are managed as we get into adjacent categories. Finally, in terms of value accretive acquisition, Sunrise, which was a 70-year-old brand and the #1 brand in West Bengal in spices, having a strong cultural connect with Bengal, and offering a great range of blends with high quality, differentiated and regional products and good profitability and returns. It matched very well with ITC's market leadership in pure spices in AP, with a pan-India network of direct procurement from farmers, with our expertise in quality crop development and our expertise in large-scale quality material procurement, which will drive cost efficiencies, and leveraging the wide distribution network. This was a great match, and in the last 1 year and a few months, we can see that we have been maintaining the momentum in the ongoing business. We have driven new distribution points in terms of modern trade and e-commerce. Our expansion to other markets of East has commenced, and we can see our share gains as well happening in those markets too. We have driven profitability through integrated supply chain, looking at procurement savings as well as cost efficiencies, as well as increased presence in touch points on including digital presence, as well as to reach out to the non-Bengali audience. I'm happy to report that post-acquisition, integration has completed successfully, and we are on track as per acquisition targets. In summary, the ITC Foods business is well poised to sustain high growth trajectory. Our chosen categories offer immense growth potential. Our future-ready portfolio and are able to leveraging our power brands. Our science-based R&D will help us to fuel further innovation. We continue to explore new vectors of growth basis our deep consumer understanding. We are harnessing digital and analytics through cutting-edge AI and ML interventions, both in terms of consumer space as well as manufacturing space. We will drive profitability and capital productivity through premiumization and leveraging value-added adjacencies. Smart manufacturing, which will to delayer operations and to distribute and a distributed supply chain. Capital efficiencies through working capital management and improving capacity utilization, we believe is a strong foundation for rapid and sustainable growth, both in scale and profitability.